For decades, Mexico has remained in the shadow of its northern neighbor, the United States, its economic growth often overshadowed by the dominance of larger economies. Yet today, the winds are changing. Mexico is steadily becoming a global force. It has all the right ingredients: a strategic location, a booming manufacturing sector, a rise in foreign investment, and a growing, young, and increasingly skilled workforce. With increasing attention from international businesses, Mexico's economic transformation is not just a matter of potential, it's becoming a reality. This economic turnaround is not coincidental. Over the past few years, Mexico has been riding a wave of growth powered by its proximity to the United States and an influx of investments that are reshaping its future. Mexico shares nearly 2,000 miles of border with the U.S., giving it an unrivaled access to one of the world's largest consumer markets. This geographical advantage has proven to be invaluable as U.S. companies increasingly move their manufacturing operations to Mexico to take advantage of lower production costs, faster supply chains, and tariff-free access to the U.S. market under trade agreements like USMCA. The rise of nearshoring has played a significant role in this shift. As U.S. companies face rising labor costs in Asia and escalating trade tensions with China, they've turned to Mexico as a more stable and cost-effective manufacturing base. This growing trend has provided a major boost to Mexico's industrial output and employment. What's more, this manufacturing boom is not just happening in northern Mexico, but also in the southern regions, like Tabasco and Chiapas, which have historically lagged behind economically. As foreign direct investment pours into Mexico, it's clear that the economic transformation is sweeping across the country, not just in a few key areas. The numbers speak for themselves. In 2023, Mexico experienced the highest growth in foreign investment on record, an 18% year-on-year increase. This surge has been fueled by companies looking to re-establish their manufacturing operations closer to home due to global shifts in supply chains. This is particularly significant as it comes at a time when trade wars and geopolitical tensions have made countries like China less attractive for American and European businesses. The U.S. has become even more reliant on Mexico, with the country overtaking China as the largest source of imports into the U.S. by February 2024. This shift signals a turning point for Mexico as it solidifies its position as a manufacturing powerhouse. But the transformation of Mexico's economy is not just about being a low-cost production hub. Over the years, Mexico has moved away from its heavy dependence on oil, which for decades fueled its economy. While oil remains an important contributor to government revenues, Mexico's economic growth has increasingly been driven by other sectors. This diversification has helped shield the country from the boom and bust cycles of oil prices. Instead, manufacturing, exports, and a growing middle class have taken center stage. Mexico has shifted from an oil-dependent economy to one driven by a dynamic mix of industries, including electronics, automobiles, aerospace, and agriculture. Despite this progress, the road has not been without its hurdles. Mexico's income inequality remains one of the highest among OECD countries, with a large portion of wealth concentrated among a small percentage of the population. Roughly a third of the population lives in poverty, although this is an improvement from previous years. Still, much work remains to bridge the gap between the wealthy and the poor. The country's informal sector, which accounts for a significant portion of the economy, has also created barriers to achieving more robust economic growth. Many of these businesses are not taxed, regulated, or able to access financing, limiting their potential for growth and constraining government tax revenues. Crime, particularly drug cartels and organized violence, continues to plague certain areas of the country. The illegal drug trade has undermined economic stability, especially in regions where cartels hold power. However, while this issue remains a challenge, Mexico is beginning to address it more effectively. The government has increased efforts to fight corruption and strengthen the rule of law, focusing on making the country safer for businesses and citizens alike. These efforts are gradually having an impact. but the progress is slow and uneven. The true potential of Mexico lies not only in its strategic location and growing manufacturing sector, but in its ability to build a more educated, skilled workforce. Historically, Mexico has lagged behind many developed nations in terms of education. However, the country has made strides in recent years to improve literacy rates, increase access to education, and develop vocational training programs. These improvements are critical as Mexico's workforce becomes more qualified to take on the higher-skilled jobs that come with its economic transformation. As a result, wages are rising, and the demand for skilled workers is increasing. This shift will help push Mexico toward becoming an advanced economy as it moves away from low-wage labor and towards more sophisticated industries. Mexico's economic resilience is also evident in its energy sector. While oil remains an important revenue stream, Mexico is increasingly investing in renewable energy, positioning itself as a leader in clean energy in the region. With its vast reserves of oil and natural gas, Mexico continues to benefit from its energy resources, but the government has also placed an emphasis on developing solar, wind, and hydroelectric power to diversify its energy portfolio. These investments not only provide the country with a more sustainable energy future, but also open new avenues for economic growth, especially as global demand for renewable energy rises. In agriculture, Mexico's diverse output has become an important part of the global food supply chain. The country is the world's largest exporter of avocados and limes and one of the largest producers of tomatoes, berries, and other crops. Agriculture accounts for a significant portion of Mexico's GDP, and with the growing demand for food worldwide, this sector is poised to continue its growth. The strength of Mexico's agricultural sector, combined with its growing manufacturing base, provides a strong foundation for long-term economic prosperity. Tourism has also contributed to the country's economic success. Mexico's stunning beaches, rich cultural heritage, and historical landmarks attract millions of visitors each year. In 2019, Mexico ranked 7th globally for international tourism arrivals, a testament to the country's appeal as a top destination. This influx of tourists brings in significant revenue and supports a wide range of industries, from hospitality to retail. Looking ahead, Mexico faces some risks that could undermine its growth trajectory. The over-reliance on the U.S. market, while advantageous in many ways, could become a vulnerability if U.S. trade policies shift or if Mexico's relationship with its northern neighbor becomes strained. The country's heavy dependence on trade could expose it to global economic shocks, and changes in the international market could affect Mexico's growth. Despite these risks, the overall outlook for Mexico remains positive. The country's young and growing population provides a demographic advantage that many developed nations envy. This population is increasingly better educated and more connected, with greater access to technology and opportunities. This provides a foundation for continued economic expansion as the country moves away from low-wage labor and toward higher-value industries. Furthermore, Mexico's robust network of trade agreements with over 40 countries, including the USMCA and agreements with the European Union and various Latin American nations, opens up access to a wide range of global markets. These agreements have made Mexico an attractive destination for foreign investment, particularly in sectors like manufacturing, technology, and energy. The ongoing trend of nearshoring, coupled with Mexico's strategic position, has placed it in an ideal position to capitalize on global shifts in supply chains. If Mexico can continue to build on its strengths, its geographic advantage, manufacturing base, energy resources, and diversified economy, while addressing its challenges in crime, inequality, and education, the country has the potential to become one of the most important economic players in the world. It may not be long before Mexico is counted among the top global economies, competing with countries like China, Germany, and the United States. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more updates on global economics and emerging markets. Let us know in the comments what you think about Mexico's economic future and how it might impact the world stage. Thanks for watching.